Hello and good morning, Osmonauts, Cosmonauts, and friends. We have another update from the lab coming shortly. I'm Kevin. Eddie will be here. I think he's here. I think Sonny's here. We have Danielle Wall from Shapeshift. It's going to be a fun one, so hang in.
Josh is also here.
Hello, awesome. Welcome, Josh. Are you guys still in Portugal?
Yep.
Nice.
Conference is in like 2 days, so we sort of set up like a temporary office at the hotel. So just a working
Sweet.
office.
Is that the? Are you at the same hotel as Cryptocito?
Yeah. He's just like right on the lobby, actually.
Beautiful.
Have you guys met him in the gym yet? I saw him posting videos telling Waz to meet him in the gym.
Nah, because I don't think neither Sonny or I have gone to the gym in a while.
Well, it's an option. It doesn't look like Crypto. I mean, it looks like he spent a little time in the gym, I would say.
Oh yeah, he looks ripped.
All right, I haven't looked.
Just straight to the gym.
I haven't looked at his entire photo portfolio, but fair enough. Okay, Cryptocito's ripped. It's a great start to the show.
Cool. Well,
let's dive in.
Let's jump in. Let's go with some Osmosis updates. What's new in Portugal? What have you guys been working on?
So we have the entire team here. So it's been nice just like catching up on a lot of work stuff that just like needed to be discussed, but like it's not as big as like, oh, let's set up a call, but more like candid conversations around how to improve things. And then yeah, I mean we're doing the same thing, we're still, there's a lot of new networks that are wanting to join the IBC gang, be on Osmosis. So sometimes they have questions on IBC and Osmosis, so handling a lot of that. And what else is going on? I mean, I guess we hit that volume all-time high, and ever since then it's just been a little bit crazy. And yeah, this week we got to meet a lot of Cosmos people, which is really cool. First time meeting up in like 2 or 3 years. And yeah, everyone seems to love it. Everyone seems to love Osmosis, so it's really cool.
We have the 20th chain that just activated IBC yesterday or today. Yeah, yesterday, which is Stargaze, which is pretty exciting. The Stargaze team is going to be actually making a proposal pretty soon on Osmosis, where they're planning on doing an LBP on Osmosis, but they don't, and they want to sort of LBP their stars token with Osmo, but they don't actually have enough Osmo yet to do the LBP at the size that they want to, and so they're actually going to be making a governance proposal to borrow Osmo from the community pool, and then so they can do the LBP and then return the either the Osmo, or what even cooler would be returning stars back to the community pool. So it'll be sort of a swap for the community pool to swap some Osmo into stars and diversify that if governance votes that in. So that's pretty cool. It's a cool mechanism for the community pool to start to diversify, but also the Stargaze team is they airdropped a lot of their stars tokens to Osmo holders, and so it's a cool way to help them out as well by giving them letting them borrow the Osmo to do the LBP.
Wait, Sonny, is that the first time that's being done, or do we?
I think Regen is doing it right now, actually. Also.
Oh, okay.
So Regen did an LBP much earlier, and what Regen's actually doing right now is they're actually sort of donating some Regen to the Osmosis community pool to sort of for Osmosis governance to do with what it wants. And so I don't know, I think it'll be cool to see what kind of proposals come up around it, whether the Osmosis community pool uses it as liquidity, or maybe it will distribute Regen as rewards for different things. Yeah, I don't know. Josh, do you have any ideas of what other kind of stuff we might be able to do with it?
I don't know. I think, there's a whole notion of like, can the community pool actually provide liquidity to some of these specific pairs and pools? And I think that's another cool way to use it.
But
Sure,
yeah, wait a second. This borrowing thing, that hasn't been done before, has it?
Yeah, this is absolutely. I'm pretty sure this is like the first. At least I know it's the first in Cosmos. I don't know if it's
I don't think I've heard of anyone doing this
even
outside
in
of Cosmos
crypto.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah,
the
it's like
first time ever.
a loan of the native token to LBP. I haven't heard of it. I mean, I guess we'll have to look into it. But I like that idea to help chains launch. It's generous and it's cool because it gets the community potentially. Let's see how people feel about it, but like it gets the community engaged. So we have some skin in the game.
Yeah, and I think it's a win-win situation because it allows Stargaze to not have a ton of capital that they have to sink into just like to do this LBP, and from the Osmosis side, if the Stargaze LBP goes well and there's significant traction around it, all of that TVL and volume basically comes and sits in Osmosis. So I feel like it's a very like symbiotic relationship, and
Yeah.
I think it's really awesome that we can do this finally in a actual permissionless manner. So
Yeah, this is amazing.
I mean, the only permissioned part would be the governance vote to approve it.
Yeah.
well, and I think there has to be some kind of an escrow in between to actually manage. I'm assuming that might have to be a multi-sig because
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think the Stargaze community pool would be able to like IBC transfer, make pools. The Cosmos SDK isn't that advanced yet. So,
Right.
Oh, yeah. Accounts.
Yeah. Once
Okay.
an Interchain accounts is there, that would be actually incredibly cool.
Wait, Interchain accounts? What's that?
Interchain accounts is this idea that right now IBC is primarily used for token transfers, right? So you want to send asset A from chain A to chain B, but IBC in itself is not a token transfer protocol. It's a lot more low level than that, similar to kind of like TCP/IP. So it's just a way to transfer data across different chains. And one of the ideas was, and actually, the ICS 27 is basically the ICS spec, and one of the co-founders of Osmosis, Tony, was the first to kind of draft that up. But what it allows you to do is you have an account on a different chain that can be controlled by the other chain using IBC. So it's kind of like having, how smart contracts are essentially just like wallets or accounts, but you just have code managing what it does. It's kind of similar for interchain accounts, but rather than code, you can actually just do this over IBC. So I think it massively increases like interchain composability, things like that. Only sad thing is it's not shipped yet, but we're hoping it'll be ready. It'll be out soon. I know it's planned in part of the Cosmos SDK release in the next 2 versions or so, and it is planned that this will go on the hub, assuming the governor's proposal to upgrade passes. So.
Yeah. And so that's coming from Cosmos for the Cosmos SDK. It's not like a feature that Osmosis itself is building. That's like for the entire ecosystem.
That's correct. Yeah. So it's for the entire ecosystem, but I think this actually helps a lot of these application-specific chains, which Osmosis is, because let's say if the community pool has an interchain account on Osmosis, maybe you can also use like the groups module to elect what the community pool's account on Osmosis can do. So they can maybe do swaps, they can pool liquidity, without having to rely on a set of multisigs to kind of do this manually. So yeah, I
love that idea. I mean, multisigs are great, but new technology is.
I don't know if multisigs are great. I feel like multisigs
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
Are a very painful experience, and I'd love to see a lot more things to be automated and just and just composability. Just always should.
I would say multisigs are clunky, and I've used them. That rather than just they're great, I've just used it. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday was a big day for multisigs.
It was. That's a good lead-in. We had
Yeah,
a lot of multi-sig action.
that was incredibly fun to coordinate. Getting some community funds from the community DAO out to some staff members existing on the Discord that have been helping for a while. And
Yeah, it was a big. I mean, this weekend was a big weekend. We put up the. I guess it was myself and the four other members of the proposed members of this Osmosis Community Support DAO put up this proposal with your help, Eddie, for and a lot of people's help for the Osmosis Community Support DAO to help start compensating admins and mods, doing tooling, adding rapidly updated FAQ and a support website in a sort of a central place where all the most updated and official information about support and support questions can exist. And I'm really happy that it passed. And I thank everybody who voted for it and who gave us support and input. And and so then yesterday or even Monday, we were starting the process of compensating people, helping each other get the multi-sig running.
yeah, like just working through the commands with each other and coordinating all of that was, it can be time consuming.
It can. So anything that's more efficient than a multi-sig, and I mean now that it's like I was saying this yesterday to a smaller like whatever group chat that like my life has changed now that Osmosis is mobile and Kepler is mobile, that I can actually just leave my computer for a minute and LP, I can stake, I can claim rewards all on my phone. It's kind of like I don't know. It's like when your parents are like, yeah, you can stay out later at night and do what you want. Except that I'm an adult and whatever. I'm not asking my parents' permission for investing in crypto. But the point is, it's this newfound freedom. And but the multi-sig was like a thing where it's like, oh no, you have to be back at your computer. I don't have a CLI interface set up on my phone. It's kind of like it almost feels like it's old world technology to me. I'm not saying that's what it is, but
it is to be honest.
Yeah. So it would be nice. Now I'm just spoiled. I'm like, actually, I want everything mobile. I want a mobile multi.
Yeah, I think Juno might have made like a UI for multi-sigs. I don't know if it would be operable with Osmosis, but
If anybody out there listening knows a solution so that I can sign multi-sig transactions on a phone, please DM me because I'm spoiled and I'm lazy and I don't want to have to go to an actual computer. But we did it, and I just want to emphasize how big. I mean, was it last week that the marketing DAO passed governance, or was it the week before? Yeah,
it was the week before. Yeah, it was like 2 DAOs in 2 weeks.
yeah. So that's a big step. I guess 2 steps forward for this entire community. I mean, if you go back a little over 2 weeks ago, there was the DAO that is basically that is Osmosis, that consists of all the core team, devs, and so forth. But then
the community pool, basically.
Yeah, but this was the first time, other than sending some funds to YouTube and promoters and for this conference and Shapeshift, who we have today. And then this was the first time the community said we're going to start investing back into the community and into Osmosis directly. And to me, that's a big turning point, and it's going to be what separates us from other chains and from other products is how much can we engage our community to progress and build and grow both the community, the AMM, and our opportunities and our options.
Yeah, big step. Neil Armstrong steps.
Yeah, it's huge.
Wilden, did you raised your hand pretty quick in the session? Did you have something you wanted to ask? Wilden.
Wilden? I can't see your full
Wilden?
name. Maybe not.
Maybe later.
Oh, I see it now.
I guess we should take this opportunity to shift over to Danielle. Let's talk about Shapeshift integration, where you guys are. And
What's up, Danny? Danny Wall.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me again. I love hearing from you guys and checking out your tweets. I get kind of fired up, and I build off of your guys' excitement. So thanks for having me. Shapeshift announced it was decentralizing 110 days ago. So we're still in this new world and making everything happen. Last time I was here. Thank you. Yeah, it's awesome.
It takes a while though, right? Like it's not like day 2 you're fully decentralized.
100%. Yeah. And one of the things I wanted to mention was the way we did it, the way we structured it. We had 3 waves of when our employees kind of left centralized Shapeshift, and then they could, decide to move on, or they could work for the DAO and figure out a way to contribute there. And one of those big dates for us was October 31st. So just this past week, we had most of our engineers finally make that transition over or move on. And I think that was really big for hurdle for this Osmosis integration as well. So I'm really excited to see how much more we can dedicate ourselves to the integration. I have some notes. I'm going to follow my guide here. All right. So in case I don't know you, hi, I'm Danielle. I've been with Centralized Shapeshift the last 5 years, and now I'm a community member of the Shapeshift DAO. I've been the project manager for this Osmosis integration. And so yeah, we're making this progress. We're having a really good time doing it. 2 of the big kind of blockers and things that were holding us back a bit that I mentioned last time in my update was, people were still just kind of working and contributing to the centralized Shapeshift. Our biggest goal and the thing that most people are working on with the highest priority is really just making sure that we can open source our project, open source our platform, and then also have that open source platform be usable. And so,
Danielle, I don't want to stop your flow. Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So you, I had asked this earlier, but my mic was off, so I'm trying to remember what the question was. But
I couldn't hear you then. So
yeah, it was a more weird situation. So you said that you recently a bunch of developers moved on. Was that from the more centralized like infrastructure of Shapeshift, or?
Yeah, we set it up where the director of engineering, he actually went on and is the engineering work stream leader. So we are having like quite a lot of consistency. And then he brought a team of core devs. So a smaller team than what we had in the centralized version, but a small team of core devs that are, working more in this like kind of salary model, full-time commitment to the DAO.
Okay.
And then the engineering work stream also passed a kind of like a bounty budget for themselves to be able to kind of take anyone in that maybe doesn't want to work in like this 9-to-5 kind of model,
Right.
but still can participate and do some one-off stuff and some bounties. And actually this Osmosis integration has really been our first kind of more bounty work, where it's not necessarily, top down integrate like, from the engineering work stream. It is like a team of or my little misfit team of people contributing to this. So we've been really paving the way and learning a lot by doing this, and like, how do we bring it back to the product work stream? How do we bring it back to the engineering work stream and make sure that we're all on the same page as well?
Because so I see that you've been an operations manager at Shapeshift for like almost 5 years, or up until March this year, and then you shifted to director of operations. And when it says in your like about, I'm just looking at your LinkedIn, it says expert cat herder across many disparate departments. I'm assuming that this is what you're describing, is like trying to kind of maintain some level of organization of the the devs that have hung on, that are now the core team, and then also wrangling them around, like you said, this new Osmosis integration.
Yep, exactly. And there, like I said, we had some waves. So like a handful of people left August 31st. A good majority of our staff left October 31st. And then there's a handful of us that will stay on till the end of the year, just to make sure we're wrapping up all the loose ends, making sure that the foundation is set up, making sure that, our Apple developer account still gets paid next year.
Right.
And, especially being so established as a company, there's definitely been a lot of things that have popped up. And then, namely one of the big responsibilities too is just getting our crypto, turning it into stables, distributing that to our shareholders, and really shutting down these legal entities that we have,
Wow.
so that we can move on and really participate as a full DAO, and not have this entity tied to us anymore. Yeah.
It's such an intense process. It seems like, I mean, compared Osmosis, I can't speak to all the origins. I don't know it as well, obviously, as like Sonny and Josh. So I don't want to be the authority on it, but having launched as a DAO, so that it's more kind of, I guess, in the spot that Shapeshift is transforming into, and yet we still also have a process of decentralization that's, as I understand it, as the team has envisioned it, that's going to take time as well. This like progressive decentralization concept, where like the devs, over time, months, years, become less central, and the community starts to, eventually run the platform, so to speak. I haven't heard any like definitive, timelines of like, here's the roadmap. In 3 years, we will be fully decentralized. Like, I don't think anyone knows exactly the future, but we're going where no man has gone before.
Absolutely. So and I just want to say, thank you for recognizing that and understanding it. I think you guys probably can really, relate to us a lot. And it's hard to explain it to some people, like, yes, my company is decentralizing. Yes, this is how we're doing it, and
yeah, I can imagine that conversation at a party is awkward.
Yes.
It's like,
and
so
if anyone has
downsizing?
a crystal ball, let me know, because I would love to know
same.
what's happening in 2 years. Yeah.
DM both of us.
Yeah, I would also like to see through this crystal ball.
Dani, I'd actually like to speak about one of the things that I'm creating for our company, which is sort of transitioning to a DAO in a very similar way. So I'm sort of leading up governance at a project called Cheqd. Some of you guys might have heard of it. We're sort of building on Cosmos. We're quite new. And I've designed a sort of framework called entropy, which is the sort of movement between sort of it's the movement between sort of genesis and apparent centralization to a sufficient decentralization. And I've sort of looked at ways to calculate entropy. And I've created a sort of framework whereby you can look at different metrics to sort of figure out how decentralized you are as a DAO. I'd be really interested to sort of share this with you and get your thoughts as well, because I think it sort of feeds in as exactly to what you're looking at Shapeshift.
I mean, I think we want to know about this too.
Yeah, and we've been having a lot of guests. I think that's been one of my favorite parts of us DAOing it, is we've had a lot of guests come into our community and tell us about the cool things they're working on. So yeah, please hit me up, and love to hear more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's such a quickly changing and emerging space. I think, if you can get different minds looking at this from different perspectives together to collaborate on these sort of things, it can not only speed things up, but maybe hope to get more clarity, not just from, the Cosmos perspective, but from like a regulatory perspective as well on like how DAOs are developing. So yeah, I'll definitely send you over my work, and also to the rest of you if you're interested.
I'm interested. I think we're interested as well, because it's a process. And if anyone out there from the marketing team is listening, I'm just going to toss this one out there. Can we get some merch, like some T-shirts, along the Just DAO It line?
I just want to say, like, seeing projects collaborate like this is why, like, I originally came to the Cosmos ecosystem. I remember first getting into crypto, and it was all like ETH killer and ETH versus Bitcoin, and it was all this like duality. Everybody was fighting to be number one, and the Cosmos ecosystem, everybody just wants to like lift each other up, and that was what I originally loved about this ecosystem. So it's cool seeing it live and in action.
Yeah, and also Alex, when I have conversations or chats with people online about, is this decentralized? Are we decentralized enough? Is the community support DAO? Is it really decentralized? Is it fully decentralized yet? We just set it up. Like, it's going to give us a couple days, give us some, it's going to takes some time to get fully decentralized. So I would love to be able to have that conversation with people where maybe it is a system of metrics, or where we can look at something somewhat more objectively and be like, well, let's see where we are on the spectrum of decentralization.
Absolutely. And what I've developed is like a scorecard. So you can look at it and it's like almost like a spider or radar diagram. And you could be maybe decentralized in one way, like really decentralized in one way, but less so in another. So you could have, like, for example, a validator on the network with, a very high percentage of stake, which would sort of push you towards being sort of lower entropy and less decentralized.
Right.
So, but then you could have other metrics which are more decentralized. And my framework sort of tries to incorporate all of this into play, and then create a sort of an entropy score, as I've called it, sort of suggest how decentralized you might be. And it's sort of like a work in progress, but I'm really excited to sort of share my thoughts with you guys and get some feedback on it.
Sweet. Now, usually in my life, I'm not aiming for entropy, because I think of that as like the dissipation of energy. But in this case, I'll make an exception.
I appreciate that.
Were there any kind of cool front end updates with Shapeshift? I saw you posted one, Danielle, that was pretty cool looking. Has functionality progressed with that?
Yeah, so I had said there were two kind of major decisions, or two major blockers, and one of those was just when would that kind of open source platform be available to our users? And so Eric did this really cool thing. He put up a bounty of his own Fox and has really tried to encourage us to get that done by November 18th and available for actually users to use the new platform. But yeah, you guys know it's it's not easy to build something from scratch in just a few weeks. And but yeah, that's the goal. And so what our team was really kind of going back and forth on was like, do we put this integration in the old, or do we kind of wait and put it in the new? And all of us were leaning towards waiting and putting it in the new. And then when that bounty came out and kind of like put at least a little bit of a date out there, we're like, okay, we can wait. So our UI UX team has done all the designs, which is really cool. And that's kind of what I've posted in the past, some little sneak peeks. So that's happening. And like, we should see, so we've done a lot of the like back end stuff. So yeah, I'll just, let me get back to my notes for a second here. So there's 4 milestones in this proposal. And we've kind of now, well, I guess technically 5 if you count Kiki, but we've kind of broken it up into like 2 sections. The first section is wallet support. So that is for our like Shapeshift native wallet, which works on mobile as well as will work with this open source platform. And then KeepKey, our hardware wallet. And so that is done. We actually did our first send like probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So that was really exciting. We were like all, jumping up and down. We actually can send Osmo. But we didn't want to release, just that, because why move your Osmo to our platform if you can't do anything with it? So our second kind of part of phase 1 is the staking delegating side. So that's what is currently in progress and being added. We're working on adding that to mobile and this new open source platform. And then we want to do a release and get that out there. Another cool development on that side, we had a community member put up a proposal to run a Cosmos validator. And so what they actually did, Shapeshift, centralized Shapeshift, was running a Cosmos validator. But we had to, like I said, we're getting rid of our crypto. We're selling things off. So what this person did is they put up a proposal to run it on behalf of the DAO, split the profits with the DAO. And so I've contacted them and asked if they would be interested in running an Osmo validator on behalf of the Shapeshift DAO.
Nice.
And that was also a request from the engineers working on the project. They were like, it would be so much easier if we could just have one to begin with, one validator. So it all kind of worked out pretty well. So we're working with that person. They are, whoa, I just saw that people can do reactions. Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jacob.
And
I love
to
that
quote-
you're happy.
To quote Linkin Park, it starts with one.
That's right.
He's really excited about the one validator.
I know, I love it. So that's really cool, and hopefully, by the time that we get through to have this open source platform available to people, we should be able to start releasing some of our first wave of stuff. And then
Wait, what stuff?
So the first wave is like Osmo support in the wallets, KeepKey, Shapeshift Mobile,
Gotcha.
Shapeshift Native Wallet, and we're calling it staking because that's the terminology that we use kind of across the board. It's been kind of a big debate. Okay, I thought it was like delegating.
Well, I mean, that's a good point. I guess delegating is when you assign your stake to a validator.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's been an interesting one for us to kind of like try to figure out. And so we've done user testing with our product team on all their designs for this, and feel really confident in where we're landing. So yeah, that's the kind of the update for wave 1. And then the second wave is going to be trading Atom to Osmo and the LPing side of things. So we haven't yet begun that part, and we plan to do a release and hopefully by the end of November. But I also chatted with Eric yesterday, and he lit a little bit of a fire under my ass. So I have a meeting with the team today, and I'm planning on sharing that inspiration with them as well, and just seeing how quickly we can move on this, especially now that people are a little bit more freed up from centralized Shapeshift.
Well, congratulations on that. That's exciting. And I can't wait till those waves wash over us and we can do stuff with. I haven't even seen is the KeepKey, just pardon my ignorance here, I'm not up to speed on all this stuff. Is KeepKey is that a hardware wallet?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's exciting. I want to. It's familiar to me, but I'm the name is familiar, but I have to. And is it in production, or is it out there yet, or what's the status of it?
So, I mean, the KeepKey hardware wallet, yes, it's in production. It works with the Shapeshift platform, all of those things. But the Osmo stuff is more, I guess, just local for now.
Gotcha.
We'll have to do like a firmware update for everyone.
But eventually, or maybe as these waves, whatever of objectives pass, that will the firmware of being able to use Osmo or store Osmo and KeepKey, will that be included, or is that like another step?
That's included. That's awesome. That's part of our proposal. And I think what he said most recently is he has it for send, receive, stake, delegate, and claim rewards. All those functions he's already put in.
Nice.
And he's now kind of moving on to that second wave of work with the LPing and stuff.
Wow, to have another, to have another hardware wallet that integrates with IBC would be pretty sweet, I think. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too. And yeah, I think the only thing, I just wish we were moving a little faster with all of this. And so I'm really excited to hopefully come back in a few weeks and share even more of an update with you guys.
I have a question. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt if there's listeners or people, but I have a question if no one else does.
Or you can raise your hand while Kevin asks also.
Okay, so these are just, some of this stuff is like, I really like the way that you have the forum set up on Shapeshift. And I was looking at it. I saw that you proposed a new DAO like 16 hours ago, Dani.
Yeah.
So congrats and good luck with that.
Thank you. It was not a new DAO per se, but yeah, I proposed the establishment of a treasury management and diversification committee. We kind of realized like the governance process, like the minimum time I think is like 8 days, maybe 9 days if you rush everything through. But if you want to make a timed market decision, waiting 9 days and telling the world about it might not be exactly the best move. So
yeah, I can relate to that.
I've participated in the treasury management at Centralized Shapeshift, and so just kind of the community was talking about this need, and I just got it really excited and inspired, and put that out there. And I'm looking for qualified candidates and anyone interested. So check out the forum if you're interested in kind of how we're doing this, why we're doing this.
Okay, so yeah, that it does, just based on the description of it, it does sound like it's a wise thing to have. I don't know I don't think we have a committee like that yet. But I also, just going to your forum, there's a couple of basic questions. What's a work stream?
Yeah, I guess like you might call it like a department in a regular like centralized company. So product, engineering, marketing,
Gotcha.
Called them work streams. Yeah.
Okay. And then at the top of your forum, which is, I guess this is like your community discussion and governance platform.
Yep.
There's this huge like alert that says important, all caps, bold. Please read before participating. And then it has the thank you emoji. And the very first thing is vision, mission, and values. And then it says organizational structure, governance process, Q&A. So why does that at the top of the forum?
Yeah, I think, for us, again, we come from a lot of process already in place, a lot of structure already in place. And so, and to me, a DAO does not mean lack of organization or lack of leadership or lack of structure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really, that's big credit to Willie, and he, really set these kind of like guardrails and these, expectations for us as a community right up front off the bat. And I think it's really helped us. And yeah, if you look at the org structure, you can see how, again, like I want to do the treasury management committee to make quicker decisions, to not have to get a vote on every single thing. The way we did the org structure with these work streams was that, once they put up the leader can put themselves up as the leader, they can ask for a budget, and then they can make more granular decisions on their own. And so, just really trying to take the lessons that we've learned from the last, I've been there 5 years, 7 years as a company at Shapeshift, and, applying it to the DAO as much as we can. But then also trying to still be a little bit open-minded that things will be different, and that's actually better in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it. I liked that I saw it. I feel like sometimes when I'm out like talking to people in the community and Osmosis, sometimes the conversations can like fly off the handle or go on to all these different things. And occasionally I feel like that is a symptom of us not being on the same page in terms of what the mission is, or the, it's like if the values are, if people have come in with completely different values, where one person is like, my value is not a penny of this community pool gets spent because it's basically my, backup plan is that we're going to have that, then that's going to run against every DAO, every proposal, every, so it's like there are things where I feel like it could maybe benefit us to get on the same page about. So I don't know. It was
I mean,
cool to see
think
it.
For me, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned just being in operations and working in crypto in general is just clear expectations. And then you can also kind of weed out the people who aren't really there for the right reasons if you see them post skip the process, skip the governance process, and immediately put up a proposal.
Right.
You can kind of see that maybe they're not as genuine as some of the other people who took it to the forum first, put it into ideation, put up the proposal. They've really followed the steps. They followed the format, the formula that we have in place of what you should include in your proposal. And I think that matters. And I think that, clear expectations and just being able to have someone come in and participate on day one because it's all written out. They didn't have to talk to anyone. They didn't have to, dig that deep. It's pinned here at the top. Read before you participate, and then you're going to get it.
I kind of feel like we're coming at it from the opposite direction, which is that like we're not winging it, but we're figuring it out as we go, and we have some basic, parameters, and we're probably going to build something like this over time. I could just see how could be super helpful to have off the jump.
Nice. Well, thanks for checking it out. Yeah, I love that.
Do we have anybody in the audience who wants to ask a question, Osmosis or Shapeshift? Anything to add? Chirp. Everybody's still drinking coffee like me. Not all partying in Lisbon. Sonny, Josh?
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty excited for that.
What's the coolest thing you guys?
Oh yeah, wait. I guess
have done
Dani, what is it? I heard about this. Shape like you guys are thinking about a chain as well. Do you have anything to share about that?
Let's see. I think maybe John, would you like to hop up here and give maybe a better answer than I can?
Yeah, I just approved him.
Welcome, John.
Hey, everybody. Sorry, I actually missed the question because I was connecting and it cut out the sound.
They were just asking about Foxchain and if we had any updates on that and maybe just a little summary.
Yeah. So, I mean, Danielle just gave great summary on what's going on with all the Osmosis stuff and a lot of our general DAO stuff. I am actually out here in Lisbon. Just got in this morning. So, Sonny, if you're out here, I'll see you at some point. But yeah, that's one of the main reasons both myself and Michael are going to be out here this week and talking with some of the people at the conference here about this Foxchain concept that we're trying to get off the ground. But the kind of TLDR is to create a Fox-powered chain, Cosmos SDK chain, with its main purpose being to give basically multi-chain indexed decentralized blockchain data. So the idea is it would run every validator would run various nodes, and we'd have an incentivized system, to run any type of blockchain node, whether it's, a Cosmos node, like an Osmosis node, or a Bitcoin, or an Ethereum, or, Solana, or whatever it is under the sun, and actually give a, decentralized data feed for this blockchain data, because it's one of the big problems we have in decentralizing Shapeshift. So the goal here is to solve a problem that Shapeshift has for the Shapeshift, a decentralized Shapeshift interface. To truly decentralize it, we need a decentralized feed of blockchain data for these clients to hit. But it's also something, obviously, that any other project could use if we build this correctly. And it's, so this would be, instead of, running, nodes on AWS or, an Infura, if you're on Ethereum or whatever, service that you're using to run nodes today, or relying on singular people to do it, you would actually have an entire incentivized network of these blockchain indexed feeds. So not just blockchain data, but actually indexed blockchain data, because that's what we need on the Shapeshift side, and we've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of other people need this too. So there's a lot more to it. There's a whole presentation you can watch that Michael gave on it. And Roy will be talking about it more at the conference this week. But that's kind of the elevator pitch.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Jacob, you want to chime in?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. I actually just wanted to say how interesting it was to hear about all the plans from the Shapeshift side of things. That decentralized validator concept sounds awesome. And that's something that we've kind of been looking into ourselves as our footprint grows larger at Notional. Is like how might we be able to actually ensure that, well, okay, we're still signing, but we do so in a decentralized manner. And I suppose another general comment, I remember Eric's tweet, I hope that's the right name. The person from Shapeshift, there was a gentleman from Shapeshift who made a tweet saying, we're gonna shut the company. We're gonna make this thing into a DAO. And guys, it's just really cool to be here with you, and you're doing it. That's great. Thanks.
We're DAOing it, Jacob. We're DAOing it.
Yeah, it is awesome. I remember Shapeshift from the heady days of the crypto winter in like 2018, I guess 2000, and like I remember happening upon Shapeshift, and I think that was the time when like the only other DEX that existed was it Ether Delta? I don't know if anyone remembers that. It just seemed shady compared to Shapeshift, and it's a great point, Jacob. It's like a monumental thing to see an organization like transforming and announcing that, and the airdrop announcement. Very, very cool.
Yeah, and thank you guys for understanding it and getting it and supporting us through it. It definitely is. There's a lot of hurdles to get over, but we are seeing so much community participation. We're seeing new proposals go through, and yeah, we're really doing it.
Now, I feel like this is not directly a Shapeshift related, perhaps, but didn't we have a couple of tokens launch on Osmosis over the past week? And didn't we have some super awesome Halloween-based graphics for like Spooky Month that all popped up before the last updates?
Oh yeah. So Kevin, our designer, he did an amazing job at the new Halloween graphic. I guess it's past Halloween. Maybe we should take it down. But
leave it up.
Leave it up. Okay.
I think till Thanksgiving. That's my personal value, but other people.
Yeah. So he did some great graphics, and then the info site also, some cool graphics there. But yeah, also a lot of new assets added to Osmosis last week. Well, I guess two this week. So there was like Bitkana and Bitsong. But I think also just coming up in this next week, there's going to be a lot more being added. So I think there's like, I think a couple of projects are like activating IBC in the next like 1 to 2 weeks. So I think there's like, Band Protocol activates IBC pretty soon. I think, Josh, you know when the Secret Network upgrade is?
I believe it's November 8th or the 9th.
We actually,
yeah.
I have Secret scheduled for next week. Updates.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. Yeah. I think Keychain launches activates IBC on November 8th. And then I think there's a surprise launch happening at Cosmoverse this week. So that will be another chain as well. Yeah. So a lot of new, Cosmos map of zones is going to be like expanding very fast.
It's popping. It is a popping map. Well, that's some pretty good alpha right there. I hope people stayed on the call for that. I had a question. I'm not sure if you know this, Dani. This is so when I was looking at the Microtick documentation, I thought I saw that the person that's connected to or that launched Microtick is also connected to Shapeshift. If not, ignore my question.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So one of our R&D people that worked at Shapeshift had been working on it even before they worked at Shapeshift, and worked as part of their R&D projects. And yeah, I'm sure John can answer any other questions.
Yeah, we kind of incubated Microtick. So when we launched, we kind of, Shapeshift never doesn't control the network or anything like that, and we kind of let it go off on its own. But it's actually a really crazy story. Mark, the guy who was running it or who created it, he actually was working on the Microtick concept for like the last 2 decades, like before blockchains were even a thing.
That is intense.
And he had like reimagined it when Ethereum was created, and like had built a version of it on that, and he had started working for us on our Prism product at the time. And he basically realized that like it needed a more high performance blockchain to really work with what he was trying to do, and then he reimagined it again as a Cosmos SDK chain. And so under Shapeshift, when it was part of the Shapeshift R&D incubation, it got rebuilt on as a Cosmos SDK chain, and that's how it now lives today. And it's really cool, actually. I think Microtick's got an amazing ability to actually potentially solve the decentralized Oracle problem. But honestly, it's been a little slow off the ground because Mark, once it kind of went off on its own, he's very, very engineering focused, and he probably needs a little help from like, someone to do more community stuff that he just doesn't really have yet. And he's been, focused a little bit on other things, but it works really well. And like, it's working live in production. It's now connected to Osmosis, which is amazing, IPC. It's kind of a dark horse out there that I think a lot of people don't fully understand or realize, but it's something I get excited about every time I think about, because it's a really amazing project.
Thank you for that. I am excited about it, and when I read the descriptions of what the aims are and what it's capable of, I got a little too excited. Haven't been able to connect my wallet yet or get that stuff working. So I don't know. Maybe we can help. If there's anything that we can do to help Mark out, if anyone out there listening, I don't know. I want to see it. I want to see it.
So do I.
Evolve.
He could use basically like what Microtick really needs is it needs some community help. It needs someone to step up and be kind of like a community leader and organize the community a little bit. Kind of like what you're all doing here in this call for Osmosis. And it also needs probably a little bit of UI UX help, but the foundation of it, in the back end of the chain itself and all that works really well. Like it works live in production and has for over a year. So it kind of needs some window dressing, and I think it would actually probably explode once it had it.
Okay, you guys heard it here first. Window dressers, step up.
Kieran, did you have something to ask before we knocked off the air?
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Right. Oh, thank you for having me. It wasn't really anything, fantastic. It was just inquiring about the potential to show other currencies. As you can tell, I'm a GBP man. So when you go onto Osmo, especially for like your daily rewards, it'll be a little bit easier to work out what we're receiving if we could see the figures in pounds. So I don't know how we would go about, trying to implement that. Would it be something that someone would propose, or how can we get this ball rolling?
Interesting. Well, can you first tell me what a shilling is?
I'm only 23 years old, mate. That's way before my time.
Okay.
Hey, that's good feedback.
The only thing I was going to add to it is obviously with the euro stablecoin, maybe the ability to display euros as well for my cousins over there.
Yeah,
I'm sure they would appreciate it.
Good questions.
Yeah, I think that's for the front end team, and I can answer that. Yeah, I think we should be able to do that. May have to come up with kind of different ways to do like personalization, I guess. But definitely doable, and yeah, it seems like a fairly low lift thing. So we'll see if we can get that done ASAP.
No, thank you for answering.
Good question. Thanks for asking.
I got a Jack here who.
Welcome, Jack.
Oh,
Is this Jack from Twitter?
oh yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it, bud.
Yes.
Kevin, just want to say you've been making me laugh for the past hour on this phone call. So
Oh, thanks, man.
hilarious to have somebody on these AMA calls that can actually govern the call, but also make it funny and engaging at the same time. But I did have a question, if it's possible. I know this is kind of late in the call, but it's more in terms of
Yeah, and if anyone else wants to just chime in and just compliment me, also welcome.
I always like a good laugh. If somebody can make me laugh, then it's just as good as seeing them in person and having a beer. So thanks for doing that.
Awesome. Well, yeah, come back next week too. But
Yeah, I'm a
please
huge
do ask me
Secret nut,
questions.
so I'll definitely be on that call.
Awesome.
Yeah, I come from like more of a background in NLG, natural language generation, and kind of fairly new in the crypto space, but specifically wanted to see if there are any visualization developments for Osmo in terms of tracking like a my page, similar to what you would see in like Anchor protocol, where it tracks your allocation distributed among various parts of the Anchor protocol, but then diving a little bit deeper into driving the JSON file into kind of like easy scripts of, hey, Jack, this is your performance for the week. This is what you're doing, for 7 days, 2 weeks, month, year out.
Ooh, this sounds very, very enticing.
Yeah, it's something that we worked. Again, NLG being the background of what I used to do, but we would work with companies that were looking to basically take large subsets of JSON files, raw, basically machine readable data, and turn stories into that data in terms of like a full report. It could be 30 pages long, or it could be 3 paragraphs long. Our financial, basically our biggest sector, 70% of our serviceable clients were financial, financial organizations, the largest banks in the world. And I think that in terms of crypto, this is one of the things that, even the former research director at Grayscale, who was my colleague at the time, he had mentioned to the CEO, it was like, you got to get into crypto. And this is 2017. And they slept on it. And so they have a product. It's called Lexio. It is a kind of plug and play environment, but I'm curious to see, because that's a centralized approach, I'm curious to see if there's any decentralized applications or developments in the works.
Great question and great compliment. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I would like to see that and use that kind of a tool or page. I'd also like to see my performance in the past week translated into a meme. But that's probably next level. So we could start with a page.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's an exorbitant amount of data that's that could be fed from those using Kepler. I mean, I know this is tapping into data feeds, but this is something that could be leveraged to give more of a rich UX experience, user experience.
Yeah, so what we're working on right now is this week, one of the things we were doing is actually planning, getting a lot of this data stuff ready. So, we're starting to figure out how to do the LP tracking for like individual users over time. So like, okay, you can track your own IL and fees and all that kind of stuff. And then, once we have that like back end sort of data infrastructure ready, then next step is sort of to get it onto the front end. One of the goals with us this week was actually to unify sort of. There's a lot of data that's being used on the like info.osmosis site, and then there's like different like stuff being used on the like main front end, and to sort of like figure out how to start unifying these two things better. So, so essentially, yeah. So our goal, we would like to have like a personalized dashboards pretty soon.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for that question and for raising that topic again, because I think it's something that is close to pretty much every Osmonaut's heart.
Yeah, I think we're all power users in some way using Osmos, but once everything gets connected, it's just going to be a really rich experience for even existing and new people that are coming in. So
yeah, and it's hard to keep track, of like it is. We're all moving. It feels like it's moving so fast, and it's such a sweet and sleek product as it is. But like, it is hard to keep track. Like, I can't tell you how many pools I'm LPing in off the top of my head. Like, I don't have, it's a very great concept, and it's a need.
Well, this has been a great episode.
Yeah.
Update from the lab.
Yeah. Thank you for everybody for joining us. Thank you, Danielle, and all the questions have been really top dollar questions.
Mm.
I'm not sure if that's the right way to qualify questions.
Top Osmo.
Yeah. Why would I even add fiat to a question? But yeah, really solid questions and input. Thank you, everybody.
Josh, Sunny, Danielle.
Thanks for having me, and so much fun to start my day off with you guys. See you next time.
See you next time, guys. Have fun in Lisbon.
Bye.
Yeah, bring us back a keychain or something. Okay. Bye, everybody.